Hello everybody, welcome back to Risk of Rain. Remember how last time we kind of had resolution problems and part of the screen got cut off? Well, I did some testing to make sure it's working out right this time, plus I'm going to be keeping an eye on the recording feed as it goes. If something like that happens again, you can stop it and pause the game and just get back on track. So, let's get right into it. I did not mean to go to item log. I was just clicking back into the window. So, let's go to single player. We're going to once again try a different character. We'll go with the Bandit this time. So the Bandit is a sneaky little bastard. His basic attack is just that. It's just a basic attack. Interestingly though, with a basic attack, is that you can press the button repeatedly to actually do it faster than just holding it down does. Most characters, holding it down is the exact same speed as the most you can get from tapping it over and over. Bandit is slightly different in that regard. He also has a dynamite toss that hits all enemies in a certain range. He has a smoke bomb that turns himself invisible and gives him extra speed to get out of a bad situation. And he has a supercharged shot that does a lot more damage than the regular shot, and if it kills an enemy, he gets to immediately use it again instead of having to wait for the cooldown to reset. And actually, resets all cooldowns. So, Bandit, I think, is much more suited out for this glass artifact than Enforcer was. So we are actually going to give you a taste of the glass artifact here. So, we are running Bandit on Monsoon difficulty with the glass artifact. And just so everyone remembers, glass artifact gives you 5 times damage, but you have a 10th as much health. So, let's get started now. Alright. So, I'm going to be using that invisibility ability quite a bit just because it gives me more mobility, and like we've been talking about the whole time, a big part of Risk of Rain is finishing off as fast as possible. You see how much damage we're doing. That's what the glass artifact does. Just makes you do insane amounts of damage. But at the risk of having to be very careful because a single shot should kill you. That was the super shot I just did, and like you could probably see from the bottom display, immediately reset because it killed an enemy. So I gotta use it over and over again. We have enough money to grab this item right here. Let's see what's in it. Healing items? Well, I mean, there are good healing items for a glass run. This is not one of them because it's just increases base regeneration. But since we have so little health, our base regeneration is completely negligible compared to how much damage we're receiving. And the increase isn't going to be that much of a factor, so as far as healing items we can get, this is one of the worst ones. Alright, so we got a Wandering Vagrant. This could be a little tough because of those homing shots that it loves to fire. The good news is we're taking care of this guy pretty fast. Okay. Alright, we got through that here. This one lets us slow enemies on attack. Not really useful on glass because most of the time we're going to be killing enemies before that's even a factor. So, let's just keep moving on. Ooh, that was dangerous. Actually, I've gained a few character levels, so my health is a little bit more manageable. So, that was a little bit scary, but wasn't going to kill us. Oh my god, I hate these guys spawning down here because I just want to get them all out of the field so I can just leave as soon as possible. So I don't want to let enemies spawn down in that little corner because otherwise I have to go all the way around and grab them. And that just slows us down. We have enough money now to buy this tier 2 chest. So let's see what it is. Smart Shopper. That's a very good one. As I think we talked about it in one of the previous ones, just lets you get extra money per kill, so you don't have to worry about needing to spend longer on the level just to get more money for the chest. Because the money should be just be coming naturally. Alright. Alright, I think we did finish this fast enough. Well, actually, no, we already did. I was gonna go on the upper path to see what other items we can get, but it We already did, but there was one item down in this little corner, I guess. Since we have extra time and we can kill enemies so fast, why not go get it? Okay. Yeah, I guess the one bad thing about the supercharged attack is that it's not immediate. There's like, you gotta wait about a second before you can actually use it. Got the Sawmarang. This should like absolutely mow down enemies because of how much just raw damage it's gonna deal when combined with glass. So this went very smoothly. I think with the glass artifact, the first few levels always either go really smoothly or really terribly. This time we got a good first level. We managed it well. So let's keep going. There was one item we got in an earlier, I think it was right towards the end of the first run we did. It's the infusion item that gives us more permanent health per kill. That is probably the single best item you can get in a glass run, because it just slowly makes the decreased health not a factor anymore. So if we're fortunate enough to come across that item, we're going to be absolutely set, at least as long as we survive another level or two after we get it. Oh wow, that guy gave us a lot of money, and that was just one enemy. Oh right, yeah, I forgot we had the smart shopper. That's why. Teleport is right here. Let's just go for it. Oh, magma worm. That's not nice. Alright, we got him down, and we got the ukulele artifact, which gives our attacks a chance to deal electric damage. Which basically just chain damage that can affect enemies nearby the ones that got hit. I'm trying to deal with this Greater Wisp slowly, just because like these Greater Wisps can do a lot of damage fast if you're not careful. So I'm just trying to be extra careful and make sure he doesn't get a lucky shot off me. That's gonna be a problem up there. I think I might just have to save that area up there for when this Sawmarang is recharged, which I guess is now, but I guess until then we can just kind of explore a little bit of the nearby area, see if there's some more items we can get. I need to get out of there really quick and get on it. Yeah. So sometimes glass runs are easier, sometimes they're harder. I think this is going to be on the easier side, so somewhere down the line we will do another bandit run without this artifact. Just to do a pure bandit run. You can see what it's like without artifacts. Yeah, there's some good items here for us to grab. Ooh, that's a good one. I love that one. Reduces the cooldowns of your use items, so we're going to get to use this Sawmarang even more. And because of how much damage we're doing, this is going to be awesome. Alright, let's see what this is. Brilliant Behemoth. Oh my god, we are getting insanely good items here. I'm just going to go towards just the edge of this corridor and then see... Alright, I guess I'll jump up a little bit. Oh, okay. I'm glad it went this far, because there was a tier 2 chest and another one. Wow, there's a lot of good items. So now we've got a chance to spawn missiles up on hit. Ooh, yes, this is the 56 leaf clover we unlocked in the last playthrough. And this is a really good item because every time you kill an elite enemy, he has a chance to drop a completely new item for you. And that this just having one of those allows us to just get even more items than we normally could. So yeah, it's a really good item. Especially there's actually one artifact we can get that makes all enemies elite, which makes the playthrough harder, but if you can grab those 56 leaf clovers, you're gonna get a ton of items from that. So let's see, can we reach? Yeah, we could reach. I think actually those enemies on that topmost level that I was so worried about, I think they actually despawned. Yeah, most of them despawned. Either that or they were mostly teleporter elites and they got out of there. Alright, so there is this other tier 2 chest up here that I want to try to get. Oh, man. Alright, I gotta get a little bit more of a jump. I can spend a little bit of time just making sure I get some of these items because we're on a really good pace. And part of the reason we're on a really good pace is because we deal so much damage. I think maybe that's just why I really wanted to do a glass run, just because our problem in other playthroughs was how little damage we're doing, and we know this is going to fix it. And we just got that infusion item I was talking about. Every kill gets us a tick of extra permanent health. This is basically going to make the run really easy as long as we can survive the next few levels. So we just survive a couple more levels, we kill enough enemies to get us back up to like a normal amount of maximum health, and then we've basically gotten rid of the detriment of glass, but we still get the benefit of extra damage. So this is going really smoothly. I want to already say I think we're gonna succeed in this run. Let's not count our chickens before they hatch, though. We still gotta survive the next few levels before we can really be super confident like that. There's a tier 2 chest up here. I think we're probably just gonna have to let that go. We will get that tier 1 chest. There's also some formats of this level have that tier 2 chest down there at the corner that I still don't know how you're actually supposed to get to. But this format does have the artifact that you can find in this level. It's a secret little thing because... Ooh, okay, actually, I don't know if I can actually get to that. I think I need a double jump. So yeah, basically, there's a secret area down here, and actually underneath that pillar is a jump pad for you to get up into that little crevice, but I think just the jump pad sends us up too far, and we hit the wall at the top, so we're actually going to need a double jump if we want to use that. So, unfortunately, we can't get that quite yet. There's actually a lot of items around here that I just cannot afford yet because, well, teleporter's here, so I guess they won't be too far off. So I can get this. Okay, I'm a little bit scared. Oh, especially now that there's 2 of them. I do not want to accidentally walk to my death. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be very careful facing those colossi, because I do not want to accidentally let them get a good stomp on me, or let those freaking crabs kill me. Oh my god. Get out of here. Oh, phew. This is not good. I just realized I haven't even been using my grenade ability. Maybe I should be. Oh my god. Ooh, this is not good. Okay. Maybe I just need to get... I'm gonna come back over here where these items are, just because this is a much safer area to work with. And I just do not want to die already, because I have really good items that could help us get through this run if I just survive a little bit longer. Okay. Okay. Patience. Patience. Let's get some enemies down here. All these enemies spawning. Ah, okay, there's a couple up here. Let's get some of those guys dead. I guess we're gonna get that item up there after all, because we had to backtrack up here just to keep ourselves safe, so it looks like we will be doing that after all. Yeah, we just gotta be very careful. Once we survive a few more waves of enemies, we're gonna have enough health to work with that we can be a little bit more aggressive. Especially now that we have this leeching seed. This is really good. It heals us 2 damage every time we hit an enemy. Considering how low our maximum health is, that's actually a very good portion of our health. So that'll just help us get back to maximum health quicker and get back in the action as soon as we can. So this area up here is going to be a little tricky. Oh, well, not as much as I thought. Because we got frost bolts, and that helped us a lot just take care of the trickier enemies here. Alright, yeah, those Colossi, if you haven't noticed, the Colossus is capable of spawning those smaller versions of himself every time he does that clap attack, which is a little bit obnoxious sometimes, because he can get really large groups of them like he has up here. Alright, so it looks like we finally took care of all this. I need to remember, even if I don't use these items, let's pick them all up. That item there lets us freeze all enemies on screen for 8 seconds, and maybe that's actually a little bit more useful for us right now than the Somerang is, just because getting to freeze all the enemies allows us a chance just to stay safer, and health is the main concern in a glass run. But I think we're gonna take our chances and be more YOLO, I guess. Let's see, is there anything over here? No. It's a shame that we got the format of this level where you can grab the artifact, but we just don't have the jump item we need to actually be able to grab it. A little bit of shame. So let's see what the crowbar. That's insanely good on a glass run because it scales percentage damage on healthy enemies, and since we deal so much raw damage, that's going to give us a ton of extra damage. So this is shaping up to be a really good glass run, and as long as we can just survive a few more levels, that infusion is going to get us up to a good amount of health that'll keep us alive. We've got more sprouting eggs. I guess, well, actually, I think your passive health regeneration is just based on your level. So I don't know if that sprouting egg is really going to be that useful. I don't totally remember specifically how the sprouting egg regeneration works, but if it is based just on increasing a fraction of your base regeneration, then I don't think it's going to be very good. If it's like a portion of your total health that it regenerates over time, then I think that'll be much more useful. Alright, I don't think we've actually seen this level yet in any of my playthroughs, so this is basically the alternative to the magma caves. It's basically a sticky goo hive. Yeah, basically, it's much more vertical level than others, and you just gotta climb all these sticky goos to get up to the upper levels. I think this is another artifact here, and we have to navigate this disappearing ropes here to get to it. I think we'll be able to do it. Oh, I'd like to not be getting shot by these guys while I try to do this, though. Oh my god, we fucked it up. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to try that again or if we're just going to leave that for now. That is actually one of the more fun artifacts to use. Actually, I don't know if I'd say... Yeah, it is one of the more fun. I am going to try it one more time. Oh my god, birds, get the fuck out of here. Okay. Okay, we got it. This is the command artifact. We'll see what this does later. We're going to use this in the next playthrough, I guarantee. We are going to... Actually, I don't know. Because actually the way... Let's just talk about the way that artifact works is that instead of being given items, you get to choose... Like, it'll give you a class of items, and you get to choose which item from that class you want. Like, if it would spawn a tier 1 item, instead it just spawns a tier 1 chest that you can choose which tier 1 item you want. Which is really fun to use. Once we get more of the game completed, I think the reason I'm gonna wait to use that is just because it doesn't limit what items you can take to what items you've unlocked. You could literally take a bunch of items you haven't unlocked yet. So, like, I think for that reason, I'm gonna wait until I've unlocked most, if not all, of the extra items we can get in the game before we start using that artifact a little bit. Get out of here, birds. Nobody likes you. Goddamn bats. It's like, those are the Zubats of this game. They're not that hard to deal with, but they're just annoying because there's so many of them. Where is this teleporter? I want to check. I may have missed it on this top or middle floor because I spent so much time on the very top. So let's see if it's somewhere here. It's looking like no. Okay, I think it was downstairs. It really was. Alright, we're jumping down. Ah, right here. It is. Okay. Alright, we got another one of these healing items. That's nice and dandy. Ooh, let's get out of there. Killing these guys very fast. This is a pretty cool item. Tesla Coil. It does pretty massive shock damage just on enemies that happen to be near you. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, you can see just like, I think we saw a damage number there. Just like on one charge it did like 400 damage, or 345 damage specifically. Which like is being amplified by the 5 times because of glass, but still a pretty considerable damage just coming from one item. And like, because it is electric damage, if there's like multiple enemies surrounding you, it hits all of them, so it gets to be a pretty cool item in certain situations. I think we're getting enough enemies killed that we're starting to have a good considerable amount of total health gained from infusion, so I think health is just much less of a concern now, and even more so as we kill more enemies. Like, for now, we still gotta be careful. Because this is still much less health than you would normally have at this point if you were not running glass. But, you know, like, considering how much extra damage we're doing, like, it works just fine because we don't need to be in combat as long, since we can kill things much quicker. It's mostly like the high damage enemies that can get you with one shot. Like, I guess when we start to see blighted enemies, that's when this is really going to be painful and when it's really going to test us. But yeah, so still like the high damage enemies are the ones we have to worry about the most. Everything else should not be too much of a problem. Okay, apparently there are a few enemies left back up on the top floor. Alright, yeah, I think we're finally going to have a winning run. I think it's a little bit of a shame that the winning run had to come by using an artifact, so it feels like less pure, but yeah, we're just here to have fun, so who cares? And we'll get some pure winning runs later on. Like, I will promise that by the end of this series, I will have won a game without using any artifacts with every character at least once. I will promise that. So far, we don't have any of those. But it will happen, I assure you. Alright, let's see what we got up here. We need to remember we did get the double jump item. Oh, I think those do a considerable amount of damage, so we don't want to just let him get one of those shots off on me. Yeah, we're getting a lot of money from these kills. So we don't even have, I want to just kill enemies just to get these items first. Let's pick that up. Drone repair kit lets us heal the drones, but we're not running drones right now, so we're going to ignore that. Yeah, here's the blighted enemy. So, we want to kind of stay away from him if we can. or just, I guess, just be very careful around him. We still want to kill him, because why not? Just kill this guy, and that gets us the money to buy this last chest. And it's a crowbar. Stacking crowbars just helps even more on glass runs. Yeah, so I think there's some like threshold of health where if they have that percentage of health left, you'll still get the crowbar effect. And when you would just have a bunch of them, especially when your base damage is already really high, like it is on a glass run, it just deals insane amounts of damage. Like if we get a bunch of those, we might get to the point where we can one-shot some enemies, but usually you can't get that many of one single item unless you're either going for hours non-stop, or if you're using that command artifact that we just got. Alright, we got more jump. That's good and dandy. Combine it with our double jump and we're getting some good air time. Let's get this guy out of here. Grab his money. Yeah, we're going through this game much faster than we were in the previous ones. In the previous runs, by this point, we were never past like level 3. So we've been fortunate enough. Well, I guess it's not fortunate. It's just the fact that we're on glass. Let's be honest. Just being on glass helped us get through this much faster, and the game is not nearly as hard yet. And I think that's really where. I think that's really why glass runs can be a lot easier than normal runs, just because like your increased damage helps you get through it faster, so you're getting lots of items before the time has even run up very much. And especially when you get that infusion item that just like you can basically throw caution to the wind, at least up to a certain point, because the whole downside of doing glass is basically nullified. Oh, ceremonial. This is an insane item on glass, because those bolts that spawn after each kill do so much damage that it's often enough to kill other enemies, like you just saw. Just the bolts from other enemies dying was enough to kill those ones. So this is basically just the most overpowered glass run maybe I've ever seen. So if we somehow fail to win this run, I should just quit. I should just give up on life. If I don't manage to do this, then I do not deserve. Yeah. So we got a lot of that. Yeah, and like we just got a. I don't know if you remember back there. We got a. Well, apparently we got a second double jump item. I didn't even notice because I just did a triple jump. And we also got another smart shopper item. So we're just getting so much money right now. I think at this point there's no reason not to just go straight to the teleporter, because you know, yeah, there's no reason not to just go straight to the teleporter, because we're going to be naturally getting so much money. We're always going to be able to buy all the chests. So we got 2 tier 3 items from these chests, so that's really good. Beating Embryo. Well, you just saw it in action. Beating Embryo gives our use items a chance to have a double effect, and you just saw what it does for the Saw Blade. It sends out 2 of them, one behind me. We also grabbed the old Lopper. It's basically what the crowbar is to large enemies, that's what this is. Or crowbar is to healthy enemies, that's what this is to weak enemies. When enemies get to low health, your hits always do critical damage. So we are, I think, I want to loop a few, maybe once or twice. I think just because I enjoyed keeping it going for a little bit. Plus, it would be a really short episode if we did it right now. So I'm going to take on the challenge of looping for 1 or 2 levels. Probably not much more than just 1 or 2 levels, but we are going to do it just for funsies. Because we're really overpowered. If dying is really not a concern here. And hell, it might even just let us grab more artifacts to use in later runs. We got the freeze item. We are getting a ton of tier 2 or tier 3s. And unlike that very first run we did, they're all being different tier 3 items instead of just all the same crappy one. Yeah. Alright, so we found the teleporter. I think I'm gonna, just because I want to get any items there might be around the stage, I am going to break my rule of stay near the teleporter during this phase so that enemies don't spawn all over. I'm gonna ignore that phase because we're overpowered, it's not a concern. And let's just go around and get any items we want. Oh, okay, we unlocked a new character for getting 30 items in a playthrough. I'm really glad we decided to loop, because if I was just heading straight to the boss chamber, I may not have gotten that achievement. So, really glad I looped for a little bit. I think there's some achievement for getting like some number of the same item, but I'm not gonna go that far because that would take forever. Yeah, we're gonna just enjoy this while we can. I'm not having good luck on those shrines. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going away. No, like another reason we don't have to worry about the staying near the teleport is just because we've got all these dagger bolts killing all the enemies we can't see anyway. This is just insanely overpowered. It's ridiculous, actually. What is going on? Alright. Yeah, I don't know what else there is really to say. We're just super powered right now, so like the rest of the game we should be able to coast the rest of this game really easily. And it's just the adventure of seeing what else we get and what other enemies we have to face. We got even another tier 3 item. And this, what? I think, actually, for most glass runs, this is a really good item because every 6 times you get hit, you get extra armor for a few seconds. Normally that helps a lot, but I think given how set up we already are, it's not going to make too much of a difference for us. So yeah, glass just made things way easier this playthrough. So I think maybe I'll have to promise myself not to use any artifacts until I get at least one pure victory. Yeah, I'll have to promise myself that. We're gonna go one more level. Depending on how quick it goes, I might actually just complete a full another cycle. Just depending on how things go. So we got the Sky Meadow. Yeah, and we are absolutely in full. Just find the exit fast. Just to complete these levels fast, because we don't want to be here forever. I don't think it's really even out of concern of the rising difficulty anymore. It's just because, you know, staying in here forever would be boring. So, let's just get out. Plus, like, there's only a certain number of items you can get in each level. Like, barring the whole 56-leaf clover item. So, I think, you know, just staying in forever just gets boring, and, like, it's much faster to get more items by just progressing to a different level. We just absolutely wreck those bosses. We find the teleporter. We're having to deal with a blighted rock golem. So what's going on here? It doesn't look like a boss is spawning, and sometimes that can happen. If there are blighted enemies already on screen, sometimes the teleporter will not actually spawn a boss. It'll just, I guess because it considers the blighted enemy a boss, even though you don't get items from it. I think in the earlier stage of the game, you did used to get items from blighted enemies. I think they stopped that just because they realized that just gave players way too many items, and if they were able to kill the blighted enemies, it just made them way overpowered very quickly. Oh yeah, I guess I haven't even mentioned yet, blighted enemies are exclusive to the highest difficulty. If you're playing on easy or normal, you're not going to have to deal with blighted enemies. They're like an extra challenge for people on the highest difficulty. So, ooh, we get a magma worm to deal with. He should die very quickly though. Yeah, okay, that's getting to be a ridiculous amount of damage number, so I'm going to turn it off really quick, because that crazy amount of damage numbers can really slow down and sometimes actually crash the game. So just taking that precaution right now, since it's mostly because it was frost bolts against the magma worm, which has 20 segments, so they were all getting damaged by a bunch of frost bolts. So I think that's maybe that situation's not going to rise too often, but I guess you can never be too sure. I don't want to lose this whole run just because the game couldn't handle all the damage numbers. So yeah, I think we're at a point where this is about a normal amount of health for this point in the game. So getting that infusion early just basically turned this into a really easy run. I don't think there's really much else to say about it. It just became super trivial. Those guys aren't quite dead yet. Alright, there we go. Getting more crit glasses. Those are both items I need to collect at some point, but they're use items, so they shouldn't be too rare to come across. I think I'd rather the crit glasses. Not that we really need crit chance, because we already do way too much damage for our own good. Yeah, I think, yeah, that was an example of the 46 leaf clover in action, because that elite enemy just dropped that item we picked up, and what this item does is occasionally enemies explode and damage other enemies nearby. I think I said we were just do two, let's do one more, because that was pretty quick. This will be the last one, though. We don't want to be in here forever. Plus, we want to just eventually get to the final level. Okay. So what is going on down here? This is not the artifact level. Ooh, okay. This is an upgraded version of the other rockets we were getting. This one has a chance to fire 3 at once. I think it's actually, well, I think it's a bigger chance to fire rockets, plus you fire 3 of them instead of just 1. Teleport's right here. Let's just activate that right away before we even grab these items. Alright, this is the boss we're facing, and he's so trivial. We get another 46 leaf clover. These items have a limit to how much they can stack. Oh my god, we just grabbed another one. Each one gives you more of a chance, although there's a cap on how much of a chance you can get. Because like otherwise you could just stack them to the point where every single elite enemy gives you an item, and that would just be ridiculous. So I think it's like 7% chance for the first one, and then each additional one gives you an extra 4% chance. So I think right now we're sitting on 13% chance that an elite enemy will drop an item. So basically, 1 in about 7 or 8 will give us an item, which is kind of ridiculous. I'm going to keep going up here to see what other items there are for us. Most of those guys down there are dying anyway from the sacrificial dagger bolts, plus all the rockets we're shooting out. God, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, I am definitely going to stop after this level, because this is almost just starting to get boring. It's like awesome at the same time because of just how much carnage we're totally wrecking, but it's also boring just because like it's so easy. Like it's so easy just to keep killing these enemies. What real reason is there to keep going? That's a good reason, actually. We have this character for us to unlock. Let's go fight him. This is Acrid. He's basically a poison monster. Yeah, he just shot the line of poison at us. Unlock freed the chained creature? I'm pretty sure we just killed the chained creature. You know, we also got an achievement for getting this insane amount of gold. And I'll give you 3 guesses as to what that item does. Gives you that item that we just unlocked. If we have it, it gives us extra damage for how much gold we have. I think we'll, once again, we'll just grab that just so it's registered. And here's another one. Soldier Syringe just allows us to attack faster, so we're getting even faster attacks than we already were. This is just overkill. We're absolutely stopping after this level because it's just getting ridiculous. Yeah. I plan to keep going until we've like gotten all the achievements, unlocked everything, and beaten the game with every character. But I think even after that, there's still a lot of fun things you can do with the artifacts and just like trying to combine certain item effects. So there's still a lot we can do even after we've unlocked everything. So welcome to the final level. If I can actually climb up and not be a doofus. So the gimmick about this level is that there are these cargo doors that you have to activate a keypad to start to open, and you gotta wait a little bit to finally do it. Right there we just unlocked another character sitting in that little corner door there, and now we've got a couple blighted enemies to deal with. There are also these unique keycard items on this level. You'll see where they come in later. There are going to be secret areas we can get into on this level if we spend a keycard to open the door into that level. You got more jump height, so it's like ridiculous at this point. I think at a certain point you can actually just jump on the outside from one level up to the next. Oh, and also what we see on this level are like baby versions of the Wandering Vagrant bosses. Oh, I want to try. I see that key card that got dropped up there, and I think I gotta take a chance and see if I can get up there. I cannot. I think it's because I keep falling and losing the thing. I still can't get up there. Yeah, I just wasted a bit of time trying to get up to there, and yeah, I just gotta let that keycard despawn. It's both like a random drop off of some enemies, and there are special canisters you can find on the stage that will drop them specifically. We're gonna just this first time through, we're gonna explore this level to the fullest that we can. So that there are multiple of these cargo bays we can open, because like there's 4 of them back here, and you randomly spawn in one of those areas. But there's a bunch of items you can grab from all the areas. So we're gonna just go down and open all these doors. And then we're just as they open, we're gonna get all the stuff inside of them, all the good stuff. Alright, so I think that one at the top should be open right about now. So we're gonna head back up there and get into that area. And we're dealing with a lot of blighted enemies here. Just wanted to kill off a little bit of these just to not have so much chaos on the screen. I think at this point all but the bottom doors have opened. And, oh, apparently the key cards don't despawn. You're still able to go up there and get it. Alright, let's get... I don't know if we've actually grabbed this item yet. This is just a maximum health item. So it's there. Okay, I think some of those, like, back doors, there's a way to actually open the door and, like, just go outside, but I think some of those you have to open from the outside, and I think that's one of them. Like, there's a keypad on the outside of that door to be able to open it, but not one on the inside. So we just gotta go down here to go to it. Let's see, what items can we get down here? Oh, I guess there's a few items inside here. Not a lot outside. Oh, more bitter roots. As if we didn't already have way more health than we should on a glass run anyway. Alright, we already got that on, so we don't have to worry about picking that up. You see these gold canisters. These are canisters that specifically contain key cards, so you don't always... Well, it depends how many of those spawn. Sometimes you have to rely on grabbing more from enemies. Sometimes there's just enough of those spewing around that you can just get them all from containers. In fact, we unlock an item for grabbing 4 key cards. And the game is smart enough to not let us grab more key cards because one did not spawn from that last one. I think I'm gonna actually fall off the edge here to try to make it send me back to where I started. Oh wait, no, it spawns me down here. Okay. I'm gonna have to go back up to one of those middle layers because you'll see why. I just like didn't plan this out very well, and I should have done this before. Anyway, like there's also that item we just picked up that just slowly gives us money over time. It's pretty good. All right, let's just move on. So in between, right in the middle of all these layers, there's a little strip you can go to. Inside this strip will be a tier 2 chest and a legendary chest in the wall. How are we supposed to get there? Is there like a hidden rope like this one right about here? And a secret passage we can go through and then jump up to get this? Of course there is. So yeah, if you played Risk of Rain and never knew how you get there, that's how you get it. If you've never played Risk of Rain, well, now you know. So the first time you can play, you can be like, yeah, I can get a legendary chest. Although actually, I think for the most times, you won't actually end up getting that item just because those chests cost a lot. I think I was only able to afford that just because I had gotten not 1 but 2 of those smart shopper items. So anyway, we're finally going on to the second half of this stage. I don't want to spend too long here because if you spend too long in a level, it starts lagging, and we do not want, especially the final boss area, to be really laggy when we finally get there. So I think we're gonna have to start worrying about keeping killing enemies to a minimum. So I think it's just like the killing enemies that does it, just because like it still keeps their corpses on the map, so it's just more objects that have to be stored in memory. So if there gets to be too many of them, the game can't handle it anymore. So I think we'll just have to keep killing enemies to a minimum, or at the very least, if we do, like stick to enemies that don't spawn corpses, like those wandering vagrants we've been killing. Ooh, okay, that's another item. That item we just picked up is basically an extra life item. If you ever die, it spawns you back. We'll grab that one. Gold-plated bomb. It drops half your gold in a bomb that just does insane damage to most enemies. Alright. So we got quite a bit of money to work with, and I think... Oh, you know what? Let's just get a little crazy here. I just want to kill this whole field of enemies here, just to see what else comes out. Like, yeah. Oh. This time we're lagging just because of all the coins that spawned, because of the smart shopper items. We got another infusion. I think, is that actually 3 of them? So the way infusion stacks is that, at first it's 1 max health gain per kill, but every one you gain after is an extra half. It won't display the extra half, but the game will keep track of the extra half. So if we have 3, then we got 1 from the base plus 2 extra halves, which means we're getting 2 maximum health per kill, which is more than we need because we already have more max health than you're usually supposed to have at this point in the game, even without glass. Yeah, so in some of these extra rooms you can get to, there are little structures that you can activate, and it'll teleport those structures to the boss room to just be little extra things to help you out. Well, I'll try to remember to activate each of those at least once, just so everyone can see what they are. This is the armory room up here, which has these special chests up here that they pull from a limited pool of items. And sometimes they don't even always give you an item, but they're usually like very good offensive items, like the rockets we were getting. I even pulled the use item rockets, so I just wanted to show that off a little bit in the final boss. Actually, let's just show it off right now. It just spews a bunch of rockets, and because we're on glass, those rockets do a lot of damage, so it's going to be very helpful. Here's another item we can take to the boss room. It basically just like lets us grab different... If we activate that in the boss room, it'll give us a use item that we can take in case like we wanted to like switch to a different use item once we're in the boss room. Alright, so we just have one more keycard door to explore before we finally just take on this final boss. This is the medical room. And here are some compartments you can open that both basically heal you up to max health and have a chance to give you a medical item, like this soldier syringe that increases our attack speed again. Ooh, I'm gonna pull that just so it's registered. That's an interesting item there. It basically like puts down a waypoint that you can activate the item one more time to just teleport back to that waypoint you formed. So it could very effectively be used to basically like put the waypoint at the teleporter to let you explore the level a little bit, and then have just a really quick way to go back to the teleporter. So it's really useful in that regard. But as far as like the final level is concerned, it's like not useful at all. So we just wanted to pick that up so it's registered, but we're definitely not using that item. Ooh, we got this is a totally useless item at this point. I guess like when we activate those special things in the boss room, it'll send out the fireworks, but just like, why? It doesn't need to. So we are in the final boss room. Once we activate this object, the final boss starts. Everything else is locked out of this room. We're just finding the final boss here. The final boss attacks by teleporting to you and slamming his sword down. He can also just like directly slam his sword at you if you're close enough, and every 4 times he'll do that special wave attack. So we just want to slowly get damage on him while we're doing this. And actually, for this fight, since there's not a lot of enemies to work with, I can turn back on damage numbers pretty safely, just to see what's going on. Oh yeah, and every third of his health that he loses, he enters an armor phase, effectively, where basically like he'll only ever take 1 damage per any hit. So I just want to activate this Gauss Cannon. It just fired a bullet at him that did quite a bit of damage. I think usually it's faster just to attack him normally, but it's a pretty cool way to just get extra damage on him if you can. I mean, it's more useful if you don't already have a good setup for fighting him. Like, if I was really weak at this point, like, that Gauss Cannon would do a lot more damage than I could possibly do, and it'd be really good in that regard. Now, second phase of this fight is the worms. Oh, maybe this is why I should have kept damage numbers off, because these guys also have a lot of segments to work with, so they can cause a lot of damage numbers, but it's like, once again, like, if you have a good setup, it's usually a very easy fight to work with. Now we just have one more phase of this guy. He spawns with two protectors. I just wanted to activate that just to show you guys how that works. It just spawns a use item in case you wanted to try to get a different one, like if you didn't like the one you had, or if somehow you got to this fight without even having one. Yes, and now in this final phase, every time he goes into this armor phase, he also spawns basically a blighted version of himself. That attacks very similarly. I don't think he actually has a wave attack, so he'll just always attack normally. Well, I killed him before he could get off his super attack, but I just want to kind of let that super attack happen once just so you guys can see it. So yeah, I'm gonna try not to kill that blighted version of him until he lets off his super attack. So you notice the regular Providence doing this attack right now. He sends out a bunch of missiles at you that track your location and eventually will blow up in your face. The Blighted Providence does that too, but it's 2 per charge, and instead of doing damage to you, those bolts knock you instantly down to 1 health. It's really bad. It makes it so that even if you have tons of health, you could still lose the Providence fight if you're not careful. So yeah, we just beat Providence. That's all there is to it. And I hope you enjoyed what you saw. I hope you enjoyed watching our path to just ultimate destruction in glass mode. And I'll see you around. I guess I'll show you this end part, but I'll skip through the credits mostly. And so we left with his Pyrrhic plunder. I think all the characters have their own little endings, but it's like that same screen just with different words, I guess, just as its own little story of what happened after the fight. So I guess, like, this is the bandit character, so it was like he just got all his plunder from the whole fight, so he just was happy with that and left. Yeah, so on this credit screen, you get a look at all the different enemies there are. There's still one enemy in there that we have not actually faced yet. And surprising, really. You'll see one. Hopefully we'll see him later. We unlocked a lot of new characters and some really good new items. So we've got a lot of new stuff to work with. These next few runs should be exciting, and hopefully we can actually get a pure victory instead of having the glass artifact save us. So, see you around.